What would we do without the community, the commentary community, bro? I swear.
Hello, guys and gals.
Speaking of the commentary community, Mr. Gamer told me about this whole situation where apparently Muta talked about how he didn't want to support Nintendo and didn't want to buy a Nintendo Switch, and then bought one, and apparently now his community's like super pissed off at him. Let's listen to his apology video on it. Yeah, I don't know what the big deal is. Like, just freaking, like, at that point, like, yeah, it's definitely hypocrisy if you're saying that you didn't want to support, yada yada yada. But you already bought the damn thing, you know. Like, screw it, what are they gonna do?
Hello, guys and gals. Me, Muta, and let's just talk about it.
I have to say though, one thing I gotta say right off the bat, I never take any boycott seriously of any kind ever. I like they never do jack squat. They really don't.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm in a
like unless it's like a genuinely like. Honestly, even then, even the best boycotts ever that really freaking like make a company hurt, still don't fail, like make the companies fail or do anything like different. You know what I'm saying? Like, remember all that Dylan Mulvaney stuff? Bud Light's still fine. Bud Light didn't care.
I ended up buying that Nintendo Switch 2.
Yeah, they definitely changed. They changed it up, right? They definitely stopped doing all that stuff. Why? Because they realized that it just made them so much less of a popular beer. Now it's super not popular beer. Now I think the one I see most being drunk is Michelob Ultra, honestly. But there's still people drink it plenty of times. Papa Monkey still drinks it. He don't care. He's not afraid. He doesn't care about politics.
Even though I said that I was going to hold off, I wasn't just going to go buy it outright. And there I was, going on a midnight release, and I ended up picking it, you know, just on a walk-in. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, there's no way to sugarcoat or cut around this. I did, in fact, commit a hypocrisy. I made a mistake. I should have not bought this product.
Damn, he made one hypocrite. I can't believe it, bro. Shame.
Now, I made a few videos on the Switch 2.
For shame!
Well, not a few, several. And I've basically covered it. I've not been the most positive viewer of it, especially around certain things like those game key cards, and especially about their TOS, when apparently it seems like they can just brick your systems, and more specifically around the fact that maybe the system is in fact a brick when you ended up picking it up. Now, as you all know, yesterday I made a pretty big mistake. I actually made a video with the Switch 2 inside the actual frame. I actually had one on screen. I bought one. I used it to play Cyberpunk 2077 on it. Now, the reason why this was a pretty big mistake, and
I'm surprised that they can handle Cyberpunk 2077. I played Cyberpunk 2077 when they first came out. Never played it when that big major patch or update came out. I would love to go back and replay it.
Absolutely believe I should actually apologize to my audience is I didn't practice what I preached, you know? I said you should vote with your wallet, and what did I do? I straight up charged my card and got the Switch 2. And for that, it's actually a pretty big apology. Like, there's no way to really say anything. There's no really any way to sugarcoat it. It's an actual mistake. You know, you can sit and blame other people, but
I don't get why you gotta apologize to your audience. I mean, you just full out come on, yeah, bros, I'm a freaking hypocrite. I bought it. I'm such a freaking, like, you get what I'm saying? You absolutely, I don't know, I don't feel like, I feel like you don't gotta apologize. So what the hell, your dad, your mama? Like, what did you do? Like, what?
Ultimately, you know, I think the community kind of made it known that I would be one of those gamers.
I mean, it's your money. You do whatever the hell you want with it. Definitely, like, I get coming out and being like, yeah, I'm a hypocrite. I suck. I'm sorry, yo. But, like, I don't understand why you gotta, like, take it, like, this far.
That would fall
like, why do you gotta come out and make a whole apology to your audience?
I don't personally think that I'm the reason that video games have just gotten more expensive. Ultimately, the actions that I did do contribute to the fact that video games would have gotten more expensive. Or at least the aspect of
I mean, technically yes, but also technically no. I'm gonna be honest with you. The video games are gonna get more expensive, not in any way, shape, or form having to do whatsoever with people buying it, but with the fact that they just want to be able to charge people that much money. So let's just be completely honest. Like, they're going to pretty much like raise those prices whether you like it or not, whether you buy the Switch or not. They're gonna try to raise the prices, guaranteed, every single time.
It would become more normalized. And ultimately, there's really no other way to, you know, just apologize and say that I'll do better moving forward, you know? And to be fair, the biggest sigh of relief for me is to sit over here and apologize for purchasing a video game.
Are we still up on Kit?
Right? There's a lot of things that a YouTuber can do that would be very illegal, very wrong, ethically, not even just legally, that I could sit down here and apologize for. And that is the only thing that I've really thanked God today for not doing. You know, I could apologize for far more worse, but, you know, realistically, it's just apologizing for purchasing the system that, you know, I kind of made a big hullabaloo about, right? And obviously, gaming boycotts are something that unfortunately traditionally do not
Okay,
work,
we're up. We're good.
just because people end up buying them, and in this case, I was one of those people. Now, I do want to kind of defend myself a little bit and just kind of talk about this, you know, because I don't want to just say that, you know, I don't want to just say sorry. I do want to give an explanation. Obviously, that night I was coming home, bought a Switch, and one of the reasons I wanted to buy the Switch is...
Bro, I don't... What is all this? I don't, like, what do you... You really gotta break down how and why you got this Switch? Like, listen, let me explain. All right, I just happened. It was late at night. It was raining, right? Trace, my friend, he gave me a beer. I thought it was apple juice, and so I drank it. I wasn't in my right headspace, baby. Like, what is this? Did he cheat on somebody?
Had that brick capability. I wanted to see if you can fire the system up. You can make a local account. You can connect without, you know, utilizing any patches. And thankfully, you actually can, you know, as long as you have a Switch 2 and, of course, a game, which this is something that I'm actually keeping stock, or not just actually. I had a Cyberpunk 2077. As long as you have a game with an actual, you know, completed
Does that stalker game play good on the Switch?
Update on the cartridge, this system is completely usable offline, which was pretty important to me because I didn't want to see another system release as a pure-on brick. So as long as you have a system with, again, a video game, it seems things can just work out of the box. Now, as far as Switch 1 stuff goes, that still needed you to patch for getting the backwards compatibility going in. But if you were just buying Switch 2 games, then surprisingly, everything just worked out of the box.
I kind of hate that. I kind of really hate that. Why is that? That's so stupid. How come backwards compatibility is like such a why is that such a like a city of Atlantis for game creation, game development? Like, why can they never figure that out? Why is it so damn impossible?
The thing I wanted to see was, again, the functionality of these games too, especially one game completed on the system. And for that, I played Cyberpunk 2077. In fact, that was a pretty massive section of the video where I just showed the game actually running for anybody to come into the video, watch, and see. Now, I could make the video overly negative, or I could make it overly positive, but the reason I just kind of went the way that I did was I wanted to just objectively look at this product as what it was and talk about things, right? And, you know, one of the things that I kind of read was like, the grifter stuff. You were just grifting on that hate. Well, if I was grifting on the hate and I released that, you know, video, I would probably be overly negative, or I would try to spread some level of misinformation to garner more viewership on hating the device or loving the device. But in reality, I just wanted to cover things from an objective perspective. I wanted to show that there were some games, Cyberpunk 2077, which worked out of the box day one. Now, there is like one...
I mean, I believe you, and that's fine, but at the same time, I feel like, yeah, we all grift, don't we? Every single YouTuber grifts. We talk about things that people are talking about. We talk about things that are like in the sphere of discussion. We talk about things that are currently popular to talk about. If somebody huge reacts to something, there's no mystery as to why the majority of other small-time reactors are probably going to be reacting to the same thing.
One other game, or...
We're all kind of grifters to a certain degree, you get me?
I think actually 3 other games, all from Nintendo, that all come pretty much on the cartridge, being...
Damn, bro, even your camera skills messed it up for this one. What the hell? He's really off his freaking, like, he's off his game, bro.
Mario Kart World, Legend of Zelda, both Legend of Zeldas, and they all just come pretty much without that game key card stuff. So one of the things that I didn't do in that video was obviously buy the game key card stuff. Like, I didn't go out into the store and purchase those gimped copies that I was speaking so much against, which, again, I only really bought the system and the one game that was of any interest to me, just so I can show it in the video. And
oh, good. He only bought the console. That's it. You can't get like that's it. So it's all fine. He only bought the console in one game. That's it.
And ultimately, regardless of what I'm saying over here, all of that is still a mistake. I was hypocritical. I bought a device that, I actually shouldn't have. I contributed to, unfortunately, a bad practice in the gaming industry, right? Which was supporting this Nintendo system. I did want to cover it from a review perspective. I did want to cover it just from the preservationist perspective to see if a lot of those alarm bells that were ringing literally days before the system was actually launching were actually valid alarm bells.
Okay, I mean, my whole thing is, and I'm gonna say this up front. I don't care. You could just buy a Switch too, bro. I don't think anybody genuinely care. Like, it is what it is, right? I feel like you should be able to call out how stupid these things are and how bad this thing is, and you can still buy it because I mean, at the end of the day, you want one. Is it hypocritical? 100%, yes. But like, who cares, right? Like, what's it gonna do at the end of the day? But at the same time, if what you're saying is true, and you literally only bought it because you wanted to review it, and you only bought it for that reason, okay, then give it away. Give it to one of your audience members. Sell it to them. Sell it to them used. Sell it on eBay used. Like, what you get? Give it away as a raffle. Like what is this? Like,
but ultimately, look, at the end of the day, there's
trying to say he only has it because he wanted it as like a review piece, or like what? Like, bro, just yeah, I did it. I'm a hypocrite. It is what it is. You know, what can I say? But I wanted to show you. I wanted to give y'all good content, and showing y'all the Switch and showing you whether it's worth it or not worth it to buy it. Hopefully, in this particular case, I can dissuade you from actually buying it, because frankly, it's a bit of a bad. It's a bad purchase. It's not a good value purchase because of XYZ reasons. Like, we all understand that. Everybody, the reviewer's gotta buy one.
There's nothing I can say to, not accept actual fault at purchasing the system when I made a big hullabaloo about it. And ultimately, for that, I do completely apologize. There's no joke, no fun you can make in this manner. I feel like ultimately, I do have to apologize for that, and that's what I do. Now, if you're somebody that, is, looking at me and, you don't want to watch my videos anymore because you don't like me anymore because of the Switch 2 stuff,
I gotta be real. I stopped watching a lot of Muta after the post Nux Clarity video. And that was like not even 100% because of that video, right? I feel like after that video, the algorithm did not like him very much.
Then, I'm sorry.
I didn't get as many recommendeds from him anymore.
To wave by. We're gonna have to wave by at each other. All I can really do is say I'm sorry. That's really all I can do. I can't just whip myself or do something to self-flagellate myself just for the camera at this point. All I can really do is say I'm sorry, and I'll do better next time. And ultimately, for me, as somebody that's made tons of videos on countering this...
What does that mean? I'll do better next time. When the Switch 3 comes out, not gonna buy a T1.
Information regarding game preservation, when people talk about, like, how every disc nowadays is a digital download, and there really isn't any way to preserve video games anymore. And I have made videos where I've talked about this, I've corrected the misinformation. For me, the Switch 2 was kind of like that, right? I wanted to see if in this situation game preservation, at least for fully completed titles, was actually there. And obviously, I did make a point in that video, if you watch it, where I said, when this device has 256 gigs on it...
I don't know about game preservation. Well, actually, speaking of game preservation, I guess technically, is the Nintendo Classic, like, Nintendo 64 games, is that on any Switch, or is that, like, only on the Nintendo Switch too?
Buying game key cards, already completely incomplete copies, you're going to be basically downloading and filling your entire new system up with just, like, 4 or 5 games effectively down the road. And that's going to become a pretty huge problem, not just for game preservation, but for the average person that, probably isn't also going to spend 80, 90 bucks, 70 bucks, whatever, to buy external media for the system. These are all things that I did talk about in the video.
I would have argued, but the SD cards that work the best with the console are typically the Nintendo ones, but you can definitely format any larger SD cards, like a terabyte one, to fit and to work.
Video, and these were kind of the most important things for me too. The other thing was obviously seeing how a game like Cyberpunk 2077 could run on a newer ARM-based chip device. Now, ultimately, as part of my apology, all I can really say is, look, at the end, I am sorry. I probably shouldn't have contributed to Nintendo's dog shit in video gaming, but ultimately I did. And, I'm one of the bad people in this process. Now, do I think that I'm the most evil person in the world? No, I don't think that. And I don't even see really anybody saying that. But as far as being hypocritical and bad for gaming, I can definitely see how I've contributed to that. And for that, I just really humbly apologize. There's no if, and, or but around it. It is just a straight apology to anybody that felt slighted, hurt, or disappointed in this entire process. For that, my community is pretty important to me. And ultimately, I really did feel like, because I had a platform and I could talk a little bit about the game preservation angle, maybe it was worth showing. To me, if there was something really scathing about it in this device, it would have been a completely warranted purchase, because then I could at least alert some people that, yeah, this thing is actually a confirmed brick. Yes, actually, all these games.
Don't try to, like, retroactively add, like, this would have been worth it if I found out this bad thing about it. Like, who cares, bro?
Even the ones that ship completely on cart, don't just work day one. These would be pretty huge points. But when I actually got the device and I tested it myself, I couldn't find that to be the case. So it was really just to be honestly reporting on something versus, maybe raising more misinformation and hurting myself down the road a lot harder than, the hurt that I've taken right now. But yeah, that's really all I have to say. I can just look into the camera and just say, I'm sorry, I'll do better. And that's pretty much all it comes down to. And the only thing I'm really thankful about here is I could be apologizing for, like, as a YouTuber, there's apology videos that I've watched through my career where people have done really terrible things. And ultimately, this might be one of the worst things that I've done. What genuinely is support bad game practices.
Oh, this definitely not throwing your longtime friend under the bus after he got accused of being a sex pest or something like that, right? Definitely not that.
And, not practice what I preach.
Post
I can't make videos
clarity.
where I say I'm not going to be buying a Nintendo Switch, day one at least. And then here I am buying it day one. Even if personally I felt making the content, and at least if I could find something scathing about it, I could talk about, sure. But for me, I'm still not somebody that is in line to be, I guess, known as a hypocrite in this regard. And for that, I do apologize. I've done something wrong, which is purchasing the device after the hullabaloo that I've raised. And for that, all I can do is honestly just apologize. Really, that's all I can do. So if you accept this apology, great. If you don't accept this apology, then it is what it is. But yeah, our word is really all we have. That's really what it comes down to. What I will not apologize for is purchasing and keeping Cyberpunk 2077 on the Switch. I really feel like even if you're not buying the Nintendo Switch 2 and you've got the money, you should probably signal to the industry that buying a completed Switch game, or buying a complete product on launch with all the DLC onto it is something that should be supported, right? Especially considering that a lot of games release with tons of great expansion packs that never end up showing up on actual release anymore.
Alright, now he's trying to freaking turn it into a freaking, like, support the game industry by buying completed games type of deal. I don't know about any of that, bro. I just think it's weird that you felt the need to have to, like, apologize for something like this. I feel like you didn't need to do all that. It's kind of weird. Yeah, it's kind of hypocritical, but I don't know. I just feel like it's like, why an apology? What's up with you freaking bought it? Oh, well, like, move on.
Like, they don't get re-released down the road. It used to be back in the day that when a game launched a year later, after it got like 3-4 single-player expansions, you ended up getting like a Game of the Year edition. Now you still get the Game of the Year edition, but sometimes, in most cases, you end up getting like a little piece of paper inside with a code that doesn't even have the whole game. So yeah, for that, I will never actually truly apologize for this, nor will I ever apologize for picking up games like Stalker, which are these completed Japanese re-releases of 3 games on 1 cartridge. But anyways, I'm kind of talking and talking in
all three of the Stalkers or what?
Circles, really. Apologize for the Switch 2 stuff. Didn't practice what I preached there. And all I can say is I'm sorry, and I'll do better. Simple as that. I'm out.
I don't know. It's a weird one. It's so weird to me to
Hello,
have
guys.
to, like, apologize for something, like, awkward like that, I guess. I'll drop you a like, because why not? Post Nintendo clarity. The lack of ukuleles is profoundly upsetting. As penance, you must use Windows for all your systems through the entire year. Oh, damn. It's just such a freaking weird apology. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is your audience really gotcha like that? Like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. It's an odd one. It's an awkward one. But I went ahead and shared it on the Discord. You can go find it in the description down below if you really want to go, show support or leave your opinions on it, I guess. Freaking wild. Ayoo, Monodachis! Thank you so much for watching this video. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also find links to the videos that we reacted to today down in the description below, along with my Oshi marks. I'll see you in the next video, Monos. Goodbye, and thank you so much for swinging by. Salut!